In this devotional, I'm going to share with you three thoughts from 2 Kings chapter 1, verses 2 through 4, where I'll answer the question, who should I ask for help? 2 Kings chapter 1, verses 2 through 4 says, Now Ahaziah fell through the lattice in his upper chamber in Samaria, and lay sick, so he sent messengers telling them, Go inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover from this sickness. But the angel of the Lord said to Elijah the Tishbite, Arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say to them, Is it because there is no God in Israel that you are going to inquire of Baal-zebub, the god of Ekron? Now, therefore, thus says the Lord, you shall not come down from the bed to which you have gone up, but you shall surely die. So Elijah went. The book of 2 Kings sort of starts off with a bang here. Oh, that's a nice pun. Ooh, because the king, the new king, Ahaziah, the son of Ahab, he falls through the lattice and there's a big bang. He lands on the ground and he's injured. He's hurt. And he doesn't know what's going to happen to him. He doesn't know if he's going to live, die. He doesn't know if he's going to recover or not. He just isn't sure what's going to happen. Obviously, this fall was a big deal. It was a lot of trouble, and he's got a lot of pain and suffering going along with this injury. So what does he do? He tells the folks who are around him, go, and I want you to ask. Go and ask this idol that I've been worshiping. Go and ask their priests, their prophets, whether or not I'm going to get better. Well, when he does that, the Lord speaks to Elijah, the prophet, the great prophet of Israel, and lets him know that this king, well, it just isn't going to work out. So with that in mind, here are three thoughts from 2 Kings chapter 1, verses 2 through 4, answering the question, who should I ask for help? Thought number one, not false gods. You shouldn't ask false gods for help. If you want to know something, the false god is not the one to go to, because what is the false god going to say? They're going to say something that is false. You have to remember, they're false gods. Their whole thing is falsehood and deceit. So when Ahaziah says, go and ask Baal-zebub for information about whether or not I'm going to get better, he's demonstrating that he doesn't really trust in the Lord, the God of Israel, who he should be trusting in. No, he's trusting in some false god. So when we need to ask for help, when we are seeking out guidance, when we need to know something specific, we shouldn't ask the false god. We should ask the real God. Thought number two, the true God. When you need to find something out, when you need information, you don't go to the false god because they just distribute false information. You go to the true God. And the true God sends information to Ahaziah. And Ahaziah should have known to go to Elijah. After all, he had seen his father interact with this prophet in the past. He was aware of who Elijah was. He knows all about it, and yet he still doesn't want to inquire of the God of Israel. He wants to inquire of one of these false gods, one of these gods who isn't really true. Because he knows that these false gods who his father worshiped, that he followed in worshiping, that they are in opposition to the God of Israel. Well, if you go to the God of Israel and you ask him for guidance, if you seek wisdom from him, then he gives it to you, and it's true wisdom. But the gods of the nations around Israel, they are false gods, and they only provide false information. They don't give true guidance. They don't give true peace. And it's not a peaceful answer that Ahaziah ultimately gets. Thought number three, clarification from pain. Ahaziah really shows his cards. He shows what he truly believes. He clarifies for everyone reading this precisely who he thinks has power amongst the gods in his area. He doesn't believe in the God of Israel. He just doesn't believe in him, even though he has undoubtedly heard about him and undoubtedly has seen some of the miraculous things that he has done. He's about to experience some of the miraculous things that the God of Israel has done and is doing. He doesn't believe in him. He doesn't trust him. He doesn't follow him. And he wants nothing to do with his law. In the midst of his suffering, he has clarification and gives us clarification about what he truly believes. He believes that his best bet is in the gods of the Canaanites. And that just isn't the case. It's only in the God of the Bible. It's only in the true God that we can find the things that we ultimately need. There are any number of gods that you can look to for answers, but it's only the true God, the God of the Bible, that provides the truth. These three thoughts come to you from the assigned reading of 2 Kings chapters 1 through 5. If you'd like to read through the Bible with me, you can do so by subscribing to this channel, by clicking on the link in the description, or by joining the Facebook group Through the Bible, where we are reading the text of Scripture together.